Hi, my name is Payne, and I'm talking about the Nacirema article that we discussed in class. I actually missed the first week of school, so I didn't get to talk about this article in class and get others' input and see what the professor actually had to say about it. And so I just read it on my own, and it stood out to me as extremely foreign, and I was like very confused at first until probably about a quarter of the way through the article when I didn't really know what the rituals they were talking about until I correlated that it was like the dentist that they were going to. He said something. It said something about the mouth man, and I realized. Then I started correlating everything else, like going to the doctor and men scraping their faces with like sharp objects, like they were shaving, and like the women curling their hair, and um, it it stood out to me, and then I realized what it was actually about, and I was thinking about it from an outside point of view, from maybe a third world country perspective, that if this is really how we seem to them, then we probably seem kind of conceited almost, or like very odd, and we care about ourselves so much, and that what and that we really do stand out differently than a lot of countries. These things in specific are normal amongst big countries nowadays, but I think to a third world country we would probably seem pretty conceited, and pretty like prideful and stuff like that. So yeah. So one thing that I chose to pick out of our culture nowadays that I think would look extremely odd to other countries, or maybe like a third world country perspective, is like lifting weights and like going to the gym. And like as Americans, it's extremely popular. Fitness is like a huge thing, and I feel like from an outsider's point of view, looking at these people going to the gym 6-7 days a week, like willingly hurting themselves just to make themselves look better. And like I personally go to the gym and I love it, but from an outsider's point of view, I can see why it would be so weird, and how it doesn't have much of an effect on you in your everyday life unless you're using it towards something that you can actually do. Like if you have an actual labor job, or if you have something that really you can actually use your strength towards doing, other than just looking good for yourself. So it's a pretty prideful thing to do, because you're only doing it for yourself really, and kind of a conceited thing as well. I feel that this itself has changed throughout history a lot, because it started off as this thing is where people really started going to the gym and started working out and doing all these things to help bettering themselves, making themselves stronger for a certain job or a task that they had. For an example, if you're a soldier and you want to be bigger and stronger and faster than the enemy, therefore you can overtake them in battle, and that can actually help you, and that can actually propel you forward into what you're trying to do. But it's developed into this almost narcissistic thing where people now, I mean, they're injecting themselves with steroids and doing all these things, making themselves freakishly large, just so that they look good, and just so that they can get up on a stage and impress everyone else. And they don't even fit into normal clothes sometimes, and they lose so much mobility and flexibility, as like they can't even scratch their own backs. And I can see from an outsider's point of view, they probably just look like freaks. They probably just don't even know what's going on, and they probably think we're just a bunch of weirdos. So yeah.
I don't really feel like this trend is going to be detrimental to the U.S. Because it's not exactly harming anyone. It could be detrimental slightly to the people that are participating in this. Like if they get really into it, they do the bodybuilding thing and they're using steroids and stuff like that, it can be detrimental to your health. But as far as it goes, the only thing that I could see happening with this is possibly affecting the mental health of others in the U.S. Today, with social media, our levels of depression and anxiety found in like my generation are at an all-time high, and it's because of kind of people that put on this fake face, and you have these dudes that are just absolutely shredded and just jacked, and it makes it seem like they have nothing wrong with their life because they never tell you anything that's wrong with their life. And so it makes these guys who are in the gym, who are working really hard, it makes them, jealous, and it makes them feel like they're not doing enough and that they're not working hard enough just because they don't look like that. When in reality, they're not using it's because they're not using steroids, and it's not like this. And it's just kind of like these other things, like these Instagram models and all these people that make it seem like their lives are absolutely perfect and they look like Ken and Barbie dolls. And it actually, like, social media has been affecting the mental health seriously of my generation, and I feel like that's maybe the only thing that could possibly be detrimental to the US in this aspect. For some of my research for this topic, I used the McLean Harvard Medical School affiliate website to look into the social media effect and how that can affect the mental health of our generation for this. Thank you for watching.